Okay. So we've been doing a little creek fishing. We caught a bunch of crawdads. We thought we might do some little pond hopping, but I ended up catching 2 little fish. They kind of look like, I thought they were minnows, but they might be baby bass. But then we caught this little baby catfish. I'm sure it's a bullhead, but it might be a different species. So if I catch anything else, I'll update you all, but this is definitely going in the fish tank with the goldfish. So if we catch anything else, I guess you'll see. But we caught a crap ton of crawdads, but we ended up letting them go once we caught this guy. Quick little update. I ended up putting the little fish that kind of look like bass or bluegill in there. Then we ended up catching a little baby bluegill as well. We saw a couple of them, so we're gonna go back to that spot in a second. But we still got we ended up letting that one minnow go, but 1 catfish, 2 bass were caught in the same cast or same net at the same time. But yeah, 4 fish. We caught a crap ton of crawdads we ended up letting go, but we're gonna go back and try to catch some more stuff. So we're out. Little update: we ended up falling in the creek. But we caught some more baby bass looking things and some baby bluegill. So we're gonna put them in the 55. So I guess the next thing you'll see is them in the 55-gallon tank. So I guess we're out. Okay, so here's the fish we assume are baby bass, maybe some sort of minnow species though. Here's one of the bluegill. There's the bigger bluegill and there's the catfish. So yeah, I guess they're before we actually bring them to the tank. Okay, so I've been cleaning out this tank. This is the tank that the tadpoles or not the tadpoles, the catfish, the bass, and the bluegills that I caught today are going to go in. It's a 55-gallon tank. It's been a half land, half water tank for a little bit now, and I had some tadpoles and some goldfish and some minnows in here, and the minnows were actually pretty decent size, turns out. So were the so were the tadpoles, and so were the goldfish. So everybody's in here right now. You can see the goldfish pretty well; they're decent size. Once we get this thing cleaned out and make it a full water tank, I'll show it back up, and then we'll put the fish all back in. Okay, so this is as high as I'm going to get the tank to. All the fish and tadpoles and stuff still doing fine in here. Put some of that start right stuff in. So far so good. I'm going to have 1 shallow side and 1 deeper side, since I've got catfish and like bass, some species that like to be higher in the water column, so that way they don't have to just be on the bottom. And I know it's a little dirty right now, but the gravel wasn't the cleanest gravel. But since, I've mixed in chlorinated water, it's kind of evens it out, because this water, it's not going to stay this brown. It will settle. But there were fish living in here, minnows. And, minnows are way less hardy than bass or bluegill or catfish. So considering that minnows were able to live in here, bass and bluegill and catfish will easily be able to thrive in here. So I guess we're just going to wait till this settles a little bit more, and then we're going to put everybody back in here. Okay, I ended up putting the plants in and some limbs, and I put the filter in. It's not the biggest filter, but it was the same filter that was working for this tank for a while, so I know it'll work, because I'm not really needing it to clean the tanks, because I have some live plants that are going to be in here and some that are already in here, so I don't need the strongest filter, but it's mainly just to keep the water flowing, so it doesn't get stagnant or anything. But the fish will be going in probably in a little bit. Okay, so we just let the fish in. You can see one right there. Looks like that's one of our gills. Yep, the gill, and there's the catfish. And there's one of the goldfish. So all the fish are in. Hopefully they all do fine in here. And there's the catfish swimming some more. That was such a cool fish to get. I'm almost positive that's a bullhead. And I'm pretty sure they're aggressive. So hopefully he doesn't end up eating all of our baby bass. There's some of the minnows. Yeah, so we're seeing a bunch of the species. This tank, I know this has been a bunch of random clips just thrown in, but I'm really excited for this tank. It's pretty much just a pond, aquarium. We've got minnows, we've got carp, they're goldfish, but some people have goldfish. There's my dog, but we've got goldfish, we've got tadpoles, we've got catfish, bass, bluegill, minnows. Pretty much anything you could catch in a pond is in here. So hopefully this water ends up getting clearer, but most ponds are dirty anyway. But this tank should get a lot more clear, but at least we're starting to be able to make out some of the fish. I would love to see one of the bass. You can see some fish right there, but can't tell if they're the bass or just some of the minnows. But that catfish, oh, it's so cool. So glad to have a cool looking catfish in the tank. Still can't figure out where those little bass are though. Goldfish look good. I don't know if I mentioned it, but we do have a one-eyed goldfish. He's been like that forever, but yeah. So we've got the catfish. There's the bluegill. There's the school of minnows. Still don't see the bass though. It's weird. But everybody seems to be doing good. Love to see some little baby bass though. Maybe they're at the top of the water. I put some food in there just so everybody can start, you know, getting used to the food in the tank, but still don't see the bass. There's the bluegill. There's one of the minnows. Well, I guess I'm just gonna pause until I see one of the bass. Oh, here's one. Here's one of the baby bass. He's very small though. But there's a couple of them in here. There's probably like 6 or 7. And I mean, obviously that catfish might end up eating a few, which will stink, but probably will happen. But yeah, there is one of the baby bass. So they might just be cruising at the top of the water. Hope that means that that one's healthy though. Even though, but that does look like a baby largemouth. And I might be wrong, maybe they're just some minnow species, but they do look a lot like baby bass. So just hopefully some of them make it to get some decent size on them. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'm out. Okay, so I came back down just to look, and the bass are a little bit more visible. There's one in that artificial plant. There's one on a leaf. And then there's one hiding behind that little stick. But there was 2 up here by that stick. But it's nice to see them out. The water's still a little dirtier than I would like it to be. But so far, oh, and there's one hiding behind that little plant. So far so good. And there's the baby bluegill. So haven't seen the catfish in a bit. But, you know, we did see him right up there actually just a little bit ago. He might be in that. I almost made like a cave type thing. And there's like a hollow log type thing back in there. So there's definitely some hiding stuff. So he will definitely be able to hide. Oh, and there's the mega goldfish. Hope he doesn't end up accidentally eating one of the baby bass. Ooh, there's one of the baby bass right there. Ooh. I'm going to have to make sure to feed these guys so that way none of the bass accidentally end up getting eaten just by accident. And then there's some of the minnows, so far so good. Really liking this tank. And I love the idea of having a tank that's pretty much just all species that you could catch in a pond. I do plan on getting a few more minnows for the tank, but so far everything looks really cool. And I'm really liking this tank. I was so glad to get some baby bass. I think they're bass, like I said. They might not be bass, but they got all the features of a bass, like the top fin looks like a bass's fin, and they've got that dark black lateral line. So I guess is where this video will actually end. I know it's been just a bunch of random clips thrown in together, but yeah, thanks for watching, and I plan on doing some cool fishing videos on this channel. And I know this channel is kind of weird on how often we upload. Oh, that bass just got pushed by the tackle. But I know the schedule is kind of weird. I plan on uploading more since the summer has finally started for me. School's out for me, so I'll try to do some more fishing videos on the channel. Some fishing videos and, you know, everything else I plan on doing on this channel, fishing. More fish tank stuff and maybe some more fish figure stuff, but really excited to keep doing stuff on this channel. So thank you all so much for watching, and we're out.